thank you so much for meeting with me today.
Hello, it's very nice to meet you. I'm Camilo.
Hi, Camila. Nice to meet you. How are you?
I'm doing okay. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. That's good to hear. All right. So I know we weren't able to meet in person today. So I just want to make sure that you are in a safe, private location where we can discuss personal things without fear of being disturbed.
Oh, yes.
Okay, perfect. So I just want to introduce myself. My name is Milena Sherman. You can call me by my first name, Milena. I'm a licensed clinical social worker here at the Denton County Mental Health Facility. And I specialize in mental health treatment for youth and adults. Before we discuss anything serious, I have to let you know of our confidentiality policy. So anything that we discuss in here today and in future meetings will stay just between us, except in the case that you are an active threat of harm to yourself or others, or if there's abuse of a minor suspected, so somebody under the age of 18, or abuse of someone who can't take care of themselves, so an elder person or someone who is disabled. Do you have any questions about that?
Uh, no, I think you've covered it.
Okay, perfect. So, since this is our first session, I do want to fill out an intake form with you. An intake
Okay.
form is just basically introductory questions about yourself and your situation, just so I can get more information about the purpose of our meeting today. Does that sound okay?
Okay.
Okay,
Yes, that sounds.
okay, perfect. So, first, state your full name for me.
My full name is Jaime Camilo Salcedo.
Okay,
Just let me know if you need anything spelled.
okay, I think I got it. And what is, and do you have a preferred name that I refer to you as?
I go by my middle name, Camilo.
Okay, Camilo. Got it. And then, Camilo, what is your age?
I'm 19.
19. And what pronoun should I use when referring to you?
He, him.
Him. Okay. And have you attended any counseling in the past?
Uh, yes, I did. Last semester I attended counseling about only once, and then before coming to university here at UNT, I did attend counseling during the summer.
Okay, and how were your experiences with that?
I will say that I did like my counselor back home. She made me feel very comfortable. Because usually with like counselors, you tend to leave information out when talking about things. But with her, I didn't feel like I had the need to hide anything. I felt very comfortable with sharing like everything that was going on with my life. And I also felt that way about the counseling here and at the college. My therapist or counselor, um, she did make me feel very comfortable as well.
Okay, that's
Uh,
good to
uh,
hear.
Overall, I will say that I liked counseling.
Okay, good. All right. And then have you have you had a hospital visit related to mental health before?
No, I did not.
Okay. And then final question for the intake form is, are there any concerns about substance use that we'll be discussing here today?
I don't think so.
Okay. Okay. All right, so we're done with the intake form now. So now I just want to get into a little bit of a conversation about why you're meeting with me here today.
So I'm coming in today because I'm very anxious about college. This is my second semester here so far. I'm a first year college student, and um, the college really makes me anxious because I feel isolated in a sense, especially because I'm first gen in my family. I kind of feel out of place and anxious about like what's going to happen next. Like, what if I don't pass my classes? Like, what's gonna happen? What if I don't make friends? In that sense.
Okay, yeah, I can understand that it can be hard to adjust to college life when you've never been through it before and no one in your family has been through it before, so you can't go to them for support either. So hopefully, I can help you with adjusting and feeling more at home at the university. Um, so, what emotions specifically do you feel when you are when you are feeling anxious about college?
Um, very nervous. Um, Whenever I talk to people, I get very nervous. Well, because there are people who like ask me to hang out, but like in a sense, I like my social. Like I have a like, it's I have a social battery, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So with that, like basically what that means is like after a certain amount of time, I just shut down, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go back to my dorm, like kind of like that. Especially when it's like a huge group of people. I just can't do large crowds of people. It makes me feel nervous. I get overstimulated because there's so much
Mm-hmm.
going on. And then yeah.
Yeah, it can. It's definitely necessary to take time alone to recharge. When being around a lot of people takes so much energy out of you. Um, so I know you said you're having trouble meeting people and being in a group setting. Would you say that you have a support system here at UNT?
Yes. I have a friend who back home we grew up.
Nice that you have that hometown friend that you're kind of experiencing college life together with. Um, do you feel that you can depend on the classmates in your classes with you?
Um, that's a good question. Um, to answer your question, not really, because I only see them as classmates. I don't really like feel the need to just be like, hey, let's be friends. You know what I mean?
Right. It can be hard to go from strangers to classmates to friends and knowing the steps on how to build a relationship like that. Um, what about your professors? Do you feel that you can go to them for help when you're feeling these anxious feelings?
Um, I would probably say one professor. Um, I had her last semester. Her name was Dr. Evans. I really liked her class, and I also liked how she's probably one of the best professors I've ever had. And honestly, if I ever need support, I could honestly go to her for if I'm feeling anxious.
Okay, that's good to hear. Um, UNT also has, a lot of counseling services. So if that Professor Dr. Evans is ever not available, we also have a lot of professionals here that are able to help you if you ever want that. So tell me, on a scale of 0 to 10, how much do these anxious feelings impact your daily life, with 10 being the most?
Um, Probably a 7 or 8.
Okay, and then can you tell me what stops it from being a 10?
Oh, that's a good question. I need a few seconds to think about that.
Oh.
Um, what stops it from being a 10 is that there's a lot of pressure on me, especially in my family. Um, because as I mentioned before, I'm first generation. So my parents telling me, "Hey," I'm like, I tell my parents, I'm like, "Hey, I achieved this. I got on the dean's list. I got this," and they're like, "Okay, you can do better." Like, it kind of sucks that I don't get a congratulations, or like I just don't feel appreciated, and I feel like that's what kind of brings on those that anxiety of being like, oh my god, I need to please them. I need to make them happy. But at the end of the day, it's my decision to be here. I'm doing this for myself. I don't really need to please them. I mean, they are my parents and I love them, but at the same time, it's kind of like I do what I want.
Right.
I'm 19, I do what I want. So I think that's what stops it from being a 10.
Right. So it sounds like you have a lot of high expectations that are being placed on you, and even when you are reaching and going above those expectations, you don't exactly receive that external support or validation, or just like you said, receiving congratulations from your parents, who could be a big support for you during this time. So that must be difficult. And do you currently use any coping mechanisms or even hobbies as a distraction from when you're feeling these anxious feelings?
I listen to music a lot. I like to discover new music. I like to change around my playlists. I will say that I do enjoy going out with friends once in a while. Um, I also like going to the gym, so that helps me a lot.
Okay, good. So it's nice that you can hang out with your friends as just a fun activity, and then also go to the gym and exercise for maybe some stress relief if you're feeling that way. So as our time is coming to a close, I did want to complete one activity with you just so I could kind of assess where you are with your anxiety. But before we do that, is there anything else that you wanted to talk with me about before our next meeting?
Um, as of right now, no. But if something does come up, I'll let you know.
Okay, great, thank you. So this last activity that I would like to complete with you is called a generalized anxiety disorder screening. And mental health specialists use it to kind of just assess or evaluate how anxious you have been just in the last 2 weeks. So I have just 7 anxiety symptoms here, and I want you to think about, just in the past 2 weeks, how often have you been experiencing this symptom? So you could say not at all, several days, more than half the days, or nearly every day. And I'll repeat those as we go on, just in case you forget.
Okay, thank you.
First anxiety symptom is feeling nervous or on edge. So not at all in the last 2 weeks, or several days, or more than half the days, or nearly every day.
Several days.
Several days, okay. And then next is not being able to control or stop your worrying. Not at all, several days, more than half the days, nearly every day.
Half the days.
Okay. And then next is worrying too much about different things. So like several different subjects. Not at all, several days, more than half the days, nearly every day.
I will say nearly every day.
Okay. And then trouble relaxing.
Not at all.
Okay, good. And then feeling so restless that it is hard to sit still.
Probably several days.
Okay. And then feeling irritable or easily annoyed.
Almost half the days.
All right. And then last one is feeling afraid as if something terrible might happen.
Several days.
All right. Okay, so that was the end of the assessment. Based on your scoring, I can assess that you are experiencing moderate anxiety, at least within the last 2 weeks. Would you say that's a fair assessment?
Yes, I agree.
Okay. So before we end our meeting, I just ask that you keep track of these feelings that you're experiencing in the next 2 weeks before our next session, just so that we can go over how your emotions have changed from our previous meeting. Does that sound okay?
Yes, that sounds perfect.
Okay, and before we wrap up, I have one final question for you. I would just like to know, what are you hoping to achieve or change about the current situation from our time together?
Um, I don't really think anything should be changed. I like the setting we're in.
Okay, sounds good. So I will see you in 2 weeks. I will email you about setting up a meeting time. Okay?
Great.
Okay, thank you so much, Camilo. It was nice to meet you.
Thank you. Nice to meet
Bye.
you too.
Have a nice day.